the KBOW Party Line. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to a beautiful sunshiny Wednesday. This final Wednesday of 2023, 107 on the Party Line. And once again, we have another great show planned for you today on the Party Line. So as usual, if you'd like to join in, if you'd like to ask a question or just give your 2 cents, it's easy. Just call us at 406-494-7500, 406-494-7500 on the Party Line, or hit the hashtag or pound key on your Verizon wireless phone and 550 and give us a ring that way. It's the KBOW Party Line, and today we're talking with Foster Kids United. And boy, that's not what all we're talking about. We got a lot to discuss today as we have guests in studio, and we look forward to sharing with you a fun event that they're planning for this week, which, we'll get into details here in just a little bit. But first, welcome to the Party Line, first-timers.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
This is your first time?
Yes, definitely. First time on the radio, first time here, and we're excited.
Lacey,
Yes.
you too?
Yep.
All right, well, let's start with introductions. Ladies first, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Lacey Bailey. I was born and raised here. I have 2 kids who are 6 and 8, and we currently reside in Opportunity.
Wow. So you drove over just to join us today.
Yep.
I love it. And born and raised in Butte, though?
Yep.
So living in an Opportunity?
Yep.
Kids going to Anaconda schools?
Yes. We just bought a house over there, so.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how about you, young man?
Well, my name is Ryan Bailey. I was born in Montana but raised in Seattle. My mom moved me back over there when I was a kid, and so I grew up with the city life, the chaos, the drama, the trouble, all the stuff that goes with it. And so in line with what we're doing, back then I was really good at partying, just only on the bad side of things. Got me in a lot of trouble. And so anyway, long story short, I ended up over in Montana. It's where my dad's side of my family is from, so I moved over to here to get to know them. And honestly, I love Montana, the quiet, the peace, the morals, the people, the lack of traffic. You know, it sucks in Seattle. Driving 30 miles takes you 2 hours. And so there's a lot about Montana that I've learned to come to enjoy. And so we're really grateful to be out here. Our kids are doing really good, and I just love the lifestyle that Anaconda and Butte and Montana offers. Just a little slower pace than the chaos that cities bring.
So what Bailey family?
Well, they're a lot more so in Helena.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't have the background answers to answer some of those important questions. They've been here longer than I have. But it's been awesome to get to know them. My dad's side of my family is huge. I have 7 or 8 uncles and aunts, and so even sometimes it's hard to keep their names straight. And so not on purpose. I love them to death. But yeah, it's been a exciting learning process being here and getting to know them, and just becoming a part of the community.
How long have you been back here in Montana?
I moved over here when I was 25, so about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have roots now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kids, everything. Kids are
Good
8
enough
and
that you
6.
met a good Butte girl and got married.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Yep. She's the reason I'm here.
that's great.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
It's funny because yesterday our guest, the reason she was here is she married a Butte boy.
Oh,
She
wow.
was from Helena.
Right.
Born and raised in Helena.
Yeah.
I'm here because I married a Butte guy. So-
Apparently there's something in the water or something,
Well, it's dirty water.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
heard
does
that
it.
too. That's what I'm saying, But whatever it is, it keeps us. So, yeah.
Well, welcome to the Party Line, both of you.
Yeah,
It's
thank
nice
you
to
for
have
having
you.
us.
Let's talk a minute about Foster Kids United. This is an organization I've never really heard a lot about, so I'm looking forward to learning something. So tell me about it.
Foster Kids United, we've been working hard on it for the last few years. And basically where the heart came from was from my wife, and we'll get into that because she's got a story that helps lead to why we're doing it. But basically, Foster Kids United is designed to help the transition from you're in someone's care, you're in group homes, you're in foster care, to now you're an adult. They do have extended care, which, would allow the youth to stay within their programs till 21. But a lot of times when you turn 18, you just want your freedom, which is great. But with that freedom comes things like life skills, how to do job applications, how to do apartment applications, how to understand credit, all these kind of things. And so we are a mentorship program designed to help mediate that transition, just to be someone there that can help guide them through these things that can intimidate youth from taking steps. And this is where Lacey really comes in, is, she has a heartfelt reason on why she helped do this, is because when she aged out of the foster care system, it was terrifying. And so
So when I was in foster care from 10 to 18, and so
Here in Butte?
here and there, so I went to Livingston and Billings and I was in 14 different homes in
Oh, my
that
goodness.
span. And so group homes, all of it. And really, when I turned 18, I actually turned 18 before I graduated high school. And I told the state, I was like, I'm going back with my family. I'm going back to Butte. As soon as I turned 18, I was like, I'd rather, start my senior year in Butte. That way I can continue school because I'm dropping out otherwise. And so they put me into a group home here. I graduated high school, but then I went back with my family who couldn't really guide and support me the way that I needed. And so even looking at a college application and they're wanting your parents' information and, all of that stuff, I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. I didn't have any help because none of them had gone to school. And so really where all this was born was if I would have just had one caring adult helping me through, getting college, filling out a resume, getting a job, I feel like I would have gone a lot further in life. And so Foster Kids United really comes in to fill that gap. Some kids don't really want to do the extended foster care until they're 21 because of the freedom stuff. And then on the other challenging side of that is they're 18 and everyone has, turned 18 and had to go out on their own before. But a lot of these kids, they don't have the support or resources that they need. And so we really created a program. It's not like, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, where it's just a year-long program. We really want our mentors to be involved with these kids throughout their whole life. So if at age 26, they can call and be like, hey, I have a job interview. Can you role play with me? Or whatever they need, just having that one person be there for them.
Yeah, give them more of a lifelong consistency versus one mentor having 50 mentees. We've got a limit of a mentor being limited at 2 total because we want to create relationships that are going to last. The here today, gone tomorrow relationships, that's all they've seen their whole life, come and go. We want to offer somebody that has a hand that extended towards them with grace and love that says, I'm going to be here with you regardless, and we can go through the ups and downs together. And that can change somebody's whole perspective on their outlook at life, feeling like they're not alone.
What's interesting about this is when I saw Foster Kids United, I was thinking of little kids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and you guys are blowing me away here because I was thinking of those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
No,
they seem like you were.
Yeah.
And here this is all about those people that have been through foster care,
Yep, so
which probably comes out with some scars. I'm sure you could tell us. I mean, there were some maybe good things, but some bad things.
Yeah, so we really like to help the kids between 16 to 24. And the reason so big of gap is because 16, we like to get them, while they're young, before they're gonna age out. And we can make a plan with them. But then there's people like me who I didn't get my act together until I was, 21, 22. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should start looking at college. And, and so there's also the people who come out of foster care who get a late start at life and getting things going. And so we do 16 to 24 and really just help them with anything. We meet them where they're at.
Yep.
So at what age... I think 18 might be the answer, that you can opt out as a foster care child. You
Yes,
can say
18
at 18,
you age out.
I'm done, I can go do my own thing. But can they leave earlier, or you're locked in until 18? Okay.
Yep, you're locked until 18, but now they have what's called extended foster care, which you can now opt to stay in foster care until you're age 21. And so it gives them more support. They help with getting into a place and stuff like that. But what I'm seeing and what I've noticed with a lot of the foster youth who are aging out, they just want to be free. They want the freedom. They don't, even if it comes with help in an apartment, they're just like, I want to age out.
So talk to me about the freedom. Is there not much freedom in foster care? I'm asking as a guy who knows nothing about this. So
Yeah, so there's a lot of rules placed on foster kids just because of the safety stuff. They're taken from their parents, and so for the whole safety thing, you can't have phones. Like, I couldn't hang out with my friends, couldn't spend the night anywhere. Like, you're not basically a kid. It was no,
you were in protective custody.
Yeah.
And so it was really just strict, and so the foster homes had to follow the rules that the state gave, and and so a lot of that came with not having friends and and so they do deal with a lot of that. And I just wanted to be free. As soon as I turned 18, I'm like, I don't want to be under their control anymore. I just want to do my own thing. And not really realizing, going back home to where you were moved from in the first place is not really a good situation a lot of times either. And so we really focus on trying to help them become independent so they don't have to rely either on extended foster care or going back to their family or having to do it alone. We're there for them.
It's interesting. I just have so many questions now. I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, how do I structure these? What's the best way to go next? But the idea that you are in 14 foster homes.
Yep.
Was that you causing that? Was it the people with the foster care unable to give what was needed? I mean, I'm just curious because we never delve into this. So this is
So some of it was either, I just didn't get along with the families. Some of them are short-term foster care homes, so they only chose to sign up to do respite care, only when you first come into care, and they'll keep you for a week, and then so they're not long-term. Yeah. And then there's longer-term ones, but I was kind of labeled as rebellious and defiant. And so I got moved into a group home and different group homes and stuff because of my, attitude and being defiant and not following rules like I was supposed to.
So as you look back on that, do you see more and more of that? I mean, or is most of the people in foster care stay put? I'm just curious about the foster care situation.
I think the label of defiant gets put on them because there's so many rules that even a rule a normal kid would break, like skipping school one day, it would come down to basically, you would be put in a group home for that. And so it's not just you get in trouble, slap on your, wrist. It was, if you got in trouble, you either, and a lot of the times the families too chose, she's too hard for me to handle, or,
Yeah. Well, and another note just to highlight on that point is the age demographic. At 10, you know who your family are. You know that they're a little messed up or they're not quite right because you can look around at our culture. But, you still love them. They're there. They cared for you. And so now the state has removed you at an age where you know your family. And so you don't want to be there because you want to be there. And so the defiance, maybe not seriously intentional, but it's there because they feel removed and ripped apart. And that's my family. And I should be able to be there. But this random entity of the state is telling me I need to be here. And so, hurting people hurt people. You get angry and, it's spiteful. So it's not intentional that these kids are going out to be bad, but they're making decisions based on, what is going to help them that day. What is the best thing for them? And so in adolescence, our decision making is not quite clear. And so we make little broken decisions, based on our own hurt or pain. And so that's not, freedom, go do whatever you want, make any decision, but it helps understand where they're at in the process. And so by the time they get to 18, they're tired of the authority. They're tired of being told what they can and cannot do. And so basically they're just ready to take that next step, but they don't know how to take that next step. And that's exactly why we are there. And it's because of the heart that she has, that she learned from going through it, that there's a real need, that they just need someone that says, hey, I'm willing to do this with you. And that just changes perspective and helps relieve we're forcing you to do this to let's help you move forward. And so that perspective helps change the demeanor that they give back, because Foster Kids United is there to be on their side. And not that the foster system is not there, but when it's an authority position, you can naturally get a little rebellious of it. The foster system is designed to help and try to give placement and good things for these youth to go to, but on their personal perspective, it's removal and ripping apart and separating families. And so you just kind of get that, apprehension and attitude towards authority where we can step in and say, we're just here to do it with you. And that eliminates the I'm 18 and I want to be free. We get that feeling, we want to be free, but let's learn how to be 18 and an adult now, because life is confusing, challenging, difficult, and so they need somebody.
You put it together perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you. I thought you nailed it.
Thank you.
So, all right, I'm going to take a time out. When we come back, I want to talk about some of your success and how many people you have working. How could somebody be involved in this? We're going to get to the event you have planned, but I want people to learn a little bit about your organization first. So stay with us. The KBOW Party Line moving right along here on your Wednesday, December 27th, 122, as a beautiful blue sky and sunshine. We'll continue our conversation after this. The KBOW Party Line, 124 on your Wednesday, December 7th. It is a pleasure to have you on the party line today as we're talking about Foster Kids United. And if you were like me, you were thinking we're going to talk about foster care for young children. This is a support group for those that have aged out or elected at age 18 to leave foster care that need guidance, need help, need structure, possibly a foundation in order to make adult decisions and move into an adult life. Exactly. So, and it's, I really compliment you on this need, and I'm sure, Lacey, you know it from experience, but the idea that all of a sudden you go from this solid structure where you had to raise your hand to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you're out on your own. It's like, wow, I can go be wild, I can party, I can have fun. But wait a minute, sometime in my life, as you said, 21, 22, all of a sudden said, I got to be responsible for my actions.
Yep.
It straightens you right out.
Yep.
So, but to have that and at least have available. So, do you get support at all from the state of Montana, from the foster care system, or how do you guys get the word out?
We have tried to develop relationships with them. Basically, that's our biggest go point, is the relationships with, these other entities that move us forward for the benefit of the children, for the youth. And so it's not about us, it's not about Foster Kids United, it's not about the foster care system. It's about what can we do to reach these youth the best way possible. And so developing relationships with them has been a stepping stone process. But like anything, it takes time and consistency and an established relationship to really iron out some of the kinks and the details. And so we've crossed some of those bridges, but it is an ongoing process. And we're also nationwide. And so this also has to happen in every state. Our VP...
I was just going to ask you that. Is this just a local or is this nationwide? So it's a nationwide group.
Yep, because it's all virtual. That's the beautiful part about it. COVID kind of set this whole ball in motion, is all of our mentoring, everything, our meetings, it's all done virtually. Yeah. And so we can have a mentor from California and a mentee from Maine, and they can help move each other along. And so there is purpose to all that. But yeah, it's definitely been an ongoing process with developing relationships within each individual state. Our VP she lives down in Tennessee, and so we're definitely all over, but it's one of those consistency over time.
How long has it been going here in Montana?
Year and a half now.
Did you guys start it in Montana?
Yep.
Were you the catalyst?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's actually been working on it for probably close to 4 years, between the policies and procedures and everything that needs to go in it for safety-wise, safety of the youth, the mentors,
checks,
all that stuff. And so there was a lot of pre-building before you could open the doors of, hey, we want some youth and need some mentors. And so it's been an ongoing process. But
So where does your background come from? What kind of education? You sound like you're very knowledgeable about the system, but Lacey, you kept talking about college. What kind of training have you had in this area?
So I actually have my bachelor's in human resource management, and
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm going for my master's in marketing. And so that's kind of where my education, but really it's just all experience, life experience from me being in care. And
a master's degree in life experience is many times better than an education.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and the specialized training, she just, with her own history and past, it's led her to the understanding of how to help some of these youth cross these bridges. And so she's specialized in, I'll let you tell.
Yeah, and so a lot of, really, I had to go on a healing journey before I started this myself. And so I started looking into some therapies and some different things, and I came across a trauma incident reduction training. And it's a really good type of therapy. And so I got trained into that. And it's basically just desensitization for trauma. And so you go one-to-one and you build that trust. And there's basically a procedure for it. But that trauma is the core piece of what I've noticed is the common factor within all these youth is the trauma. Even if with me, even if I wanted to go to college, I had so much trauma, I could barely, you have to get your needs taken care of first before you can move on. And so a lot of these kids need to figure out how to cook, how to do life skills before they even, take the next step in life.
I think that could almost be said about even education system, because I talk about that all the
True,
time,
yeah.
and there should be classes, and I believe they're just adding them at Butte High School, but classes on financial management.
Yeah, credit, things like that.
How to balance a checkbook.
Yes.
How to budget
Yeah.
your sales, because those are the lessons that are life lessons.
Yes,
And
huge
so
ones.
you're talking about those lessons in foster care, moving around, maybe in a structured system. You're not getting those lessons, or maybe you are, and you're not really interested in them at that time.
Yeah, and a lot of them, with me, it was I just wasn't interested. Like my, family would try to tell me to cook, but I just didn't really want to be a part of that family, and so I just didn't do it, and so I lacked a lot of the life skills that I needed when I turned 18 because I wasn't teachable back when I was younger, and so.
Well, with the trauma and with everything, and that's why the TIR is so important, the trauma incident reduction, is their hearts are getting surrounded by the trauma that happened. They put up shields. And so in their own way of protecting themselves, whether they're intentionally doing it or not, there's that guard up. And so when you try, like she said, these families would invite her in to try to be a part of this and that, but you're hurting and you're broken and you're surrounded, you don't want to be a part of it. And so you're missing out on what are these life skills because of the pain and the trauma. And so that's why she's saying it's a great place to start, and it's the common denominator in most of their lives is there's been things that happen, whether it's the feeling of abandonment or the fact that you got ripped out of your parents' house and now you just got reservations towards the state and anger and frustration. It all comes back to we need to isolate and work through that problem, because you can't carry a bag of dead weight and try to move forward. You got to let that go. And so it's a good place to start with any youth that is coming into our program.
I would say that would be the only place to start,
Yeah.
because it's tough to move forward when you're harboring all those bad feelings and angers. Plus, if you don't put down those fences, if you don't put down, as you said, you didn't want, you defied learning how to cook. You didn't want to do that because that means I'm giving into the system.
Yep.
And that, I would imagine your case is not uncommon.
It's not. I see a lot of this, and that's kind of why this whole need is, because these kids need someone they can trust that isn't the system, that we can step in and be like, we're your friend. We're on your side. We're not part of the government or, any agency. We're your friend, and we're here for you to walk through these steps with you. And so.
Well, and even bigger than that, we understand what they're going
Yes.
through. The moment you can let somebody know they're not alone in the storm that they're going through, the world of possibilities opens, because it's that daunting alone feeling where you just start getting depressed and beat down and there's no hope and you just reach out and say, I understand what you're going through and I'm willing to walk with you. It can change everything. And so, yeah, we've got trauma that we've lived through in ourselves, but honestly, I wouldn't change any of it for anything, because today it gives me a heart and an understanding of what other people are going through. And I can go look them in the eye and say, I understand you.
Been there,
and that's
done that.
huge.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
You guys are awfully young.
Well, I'm 38. I just look
You
young.
are not.
I am,
And
yeah.
I'm 31.
I just look young.
Okay, well, you guys just ruined my judgment of age.
Well, no, that's okay,
I
too.
was thinking both of you were probably in your late 20s.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other day we were out, campaigning and silent auction and just letting the community know what's going on. And one of the people, a gentleman, they thought we were in our teens. They thought we were 18, 19, and they're like, you guys are really, really young to be out doing this. And so, yeah, we've had to explain ourselves.
say thank you?
before.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, don't worry. You get my age and somebody says you look young, you just say, hey, you need your eyes fixed. Anyway, we're going to continue our conversation. There is an event going on, an opportunity to learn more about Foster Kids United and to participate with Foster Kids United. We're going to talk about that. And if you'd like to ask a question, if there's something that, we said that spurred something in you you'd like to participate with, give us a call. 406-494-7500, pound 550 on the party line. We will be back after this.
United Way.
And we're back. The KBOW party line. Sneaking up on 136 here on your Wednesday, December 27th. It is a pleasure to have on the PL today. And we're talking about Foster Kids United, an organization structured for those that have finished their time in foster care and need that base, need that foundation for the rest of their lives. And that has been our discussion today, as I've been kind of enjoying this with the Baileys.
Yep.
So,
Yep, thank you for having us.
well, thanks for being here. It's kind of fun to this is not something I was expecting. I saw Foster Kids United, I'm thinking people working together for those kids. And this is for those kids becoming adults, the next stage of their lives, which in that situation, it's almost like a pre-release center type thing when they all of a sudden they're out and it's, how do I act now? I've been under supervision for so long.
Yep, exactly.
So-
And I've been through pre-release, so I know exactly how that feels. And so it is really hand in hand, the same feeling.
So I've got to ask you a question, and that's what I do, I guess, in this show. But you made some comments earlier. You're very religious, aren't you?
Yes, in a way.
But I mean, I could sense it. And you made some comments earlier about some of the organizations and groups that are working with you on your event, and it made me think, so your basis of Foster Kids United also is a Christian belief.
Well, the basis of Foster Kids United is Foster Kids United. We're designed to help mediate that transition. They're
Okay.
our focus. We're meeting them where they're at. But we do also offer a Christian aspect. We have Bible studies and things like that just to invite them in. That way they can come in and ask questions, if they have, anything that has popped into mind, or if they just wanted to get to know God. We do offer that, but not a requirement. We're there to love them where they're at and, help guide them.
But that's your basis.
Yeah.
You guys are very grounded
Yes. Yeah.
for teenagers.
Yes. Yes.
I'm still shocked at your ages. Like, no way.
Yeah.
So, wow. So now as you get ready, you've been going for about a year and a half. How's it been? Or what's the reception been like? Are you getting a pretty good feedback? Are you getting a lot of youth involved?
It's been really slow starting out. Just kind of steady. We haven't had too many kids come in needing help. And so I did reach out, to social workers and different state agencies and stuff, and we're trying to build those partnerships with CASA workers and stuff like that. But yeah, we're so new and it's so confidential within the system too that it's sometimes hard finding the youth to help. And so partnering with, CASAs and stuff like that hasn't really gotten us too far. But our biggest reach, we have a whole community on Facebook. And so we have a private group for foster kids, former and current foster kids, which is about over 200 members right now in our group. And we have that little close-knit community that we really just connect, and we call each other family in that.
So creating that structure that hopefully will build.
Yeah, being there for them, giving them someone to be there. We have a whole group that we basically consider family.
So you guys are doing an event. This is kind of like your coming out party, isn't it?
Basically, yeah. We were, within Foster Kids United and trying to, become a part of the community and get the community involved. We were trying to find, something that would just help initiate a good movement, a good start. And so, I've gotten myself in plenty of trouble in the past. God has definitely gotten to know me that way in my wilderness, and so God has been a really big part of our life. But where we're at and where we're trying to go to, it's community minded. And so it's been one step at a time. And just like you were saying, it's the surprise. This is not an invisible need that's been there, but it's been one that's been kind of almost brushed over, not on purpose, but it's one of those factions people don't think of very often. Is we think of foster, the foster system, and we think of foster youth and children and adoption, and bringing awareness to the adoption, and getting people to volunteer their
Open
homes.
up homes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so this is almost like that next quieter step that people hadn't thought about too much, and so bringing awareness to it has been a lot of reactions just like yours. And so it has felt slow, but there's purpose in the process and consistency over time, that the foundation is what's being built, and that's the important part. It's the foundation of what's going on. And so even though there have been moments like we wish we were way up here and doing really big things, it's been one step at a time, because we're also introducing a new area that needs light drawn into it.
Well, and you're also building a solid base. So you'd want to have the base in place, because if you grow too fast, we've all seen that.
Oh, yeah. Crash and burn.
You get top heavy and tip over. So as having that base, having that structure, like you said, with the 200 people on Facebook, you're building a base. Mm-hmm. So then that trust factor builds. And not all foster children coming out of foster care have had bad experiences, but they may not have the experiences they needed or the lessons they needed. So I would imagine you're getting from both avenues.
Yeah.
So you get some that need more attention and some that maybe need less. Some that maybe have a trust factor and some that's okay, I trust. So I would imagine you're seeing all angles. So
Yes.
developing those relationships and learning what to look for slowly probably will make you much stronger in the long run.
Absolutely, yes.
So
Well, and it has been very developing within the community. The more we've gone out and gotten to know people and businesses, you encounter more and more people that have not only a heart for it, but have done something within it and invited foster youth to their home, or had a placement here. Or they're just active, and so it's really more developed within the community than I think the community even realizes, because it's everybody is their own personal home and their own personal business, and so we know what our neighbors are doing and we share that information. But it's amazing to see how developed within the community, the heart for the foster youth are, whether it is adoption or the older youth that are aging out, the community cares. And that's what's been really surprising to us. Not that, it's surprising that they care, but the amount of
this is
level of
Butte.
care. Yeah.
I mean, this town, you have a need and they see it and they know it. They're
Yeah.
going to be involved.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
It's
The
astounding.
community support has been absolutely just mind-blowing, really. Like, with this event, we started planning a month and a half, and I'm a marketer, so I'm like, a month and a half, like, we can't do this. And Ryan's like, we got this, let's just see what we can do. And so we've been a part of Monty's events, like Butte Brawls and Kickstart Days. I actually spoke in the arena at that event, and so we've partnered with other events and stuff, but this is our first event that we're actually hosting this time.
And this is a family event.
Yes.
It's a non-alcohol.
Yep. No hangover New Year's.
No hangover New Year's party. I love that no hangover New Year's
Yeah,
party.
it's catchy.
That's a good one. And this is a party for families, just an open event for youth, families. I mean, you don't have to bring mom and dad. You can come just the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what is your mean? Well, let's go here first. The no hangover New Year's Eve party is on New Year's Eve.
Yep. New Year's
What
Eve.
time?
The doors open at 6. Show starts at 6:30. And it's at the Butte Civic Center in the annex.
In the annex,
Yep.
okay. And of course, you got plenty of room back there now with 1923 moved out, so
Oh, yeah.
plenty of room to have it. So you're going to have music. Tell us what's all going to happen.
Yep, we got live music. Country artist Levi Bloom is going to come out.
Oh, yeah, Butte Boy.
Yep, Butte Boy.
The
So it's
mom
really
and dad
exciting.
had Butte Glass, or still have Butte Glass here in Butte, and I went to school with his dad, Chris, grew up next to him.
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah.
good family.
Yeah.
And he's a great artist.
Yep, it's a lot of
Amazing.
fun. The connection, the relationship that we've built internally is really exciting, not only for future events, but just right now in the community. Of course, Orphan Growth Theater, they knew Levi and everything. And so all of a sudden you just watch all these pieces connect that just seemed completely unrelating. But we got Levi Bloom coming out. He's going to be our main performance. We also got Strider the Jester. He's coming over from Bozeman, and he's a circus act, juggling, things like that. But his story also has a testimony. He's got a story that talks about his things that his struggles and the things he's had to overcome in his history. And so he's doing an act, but his act has a moral to the story. And so it really is in line with the no hangover New Year's concept. Basically, I see the need. I understand the need. I spent a lot of time, like I said, I grew up in Seattle. I lived out in the party world. I needed people to like me, and I was really good at it, so I can make people fill me with self-worth because they seemed to like me at that moment. And so I was really good and had a lot of fun partying. Well, of course, that leads to a lot of trouble. Well, now that we've moved on and grown on with our lives, and we don't want the chaos and the drama and that kind of trouble anymore, it still doesn't take away the want to celebrate. We've got families, churches, AA community, a mass amount of people in Montana that don't want to go to the bar or the casino on New Year's. It's not a good place for me, not a good place for them, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have a place that we can come together and still ring in the new year and bring light to a faction that these youth need help, but do it and celebrate and have a good time.
It's kind of like the St. Patrick's Day party they have at the Civic Center that is an alcohol-free fun event for families.
Yeah. Bill says
that is just, you're right in the same avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Bill said that's one of their biggest events at the Civic Center.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah,
It's
people
huge.
just love it. And so same concept in mind, and this is our first annual one. We're going to be putting this on every year, and so this is the first starting step. And so between the music, the acts, we've got putt-putt going to be out there. We've got kids games, bouncy house. We've got arcade, pinball machines, pool tables, things like that. We're going to have a dance floor. We've got food vendors. I mean, this really, like Lacey said, this idea came to us the very beginning of November, maybe around the 10th, and so we've had a month. And honestly,
It's all come together.
yeah, it's come together so amazingly that it's definitely, there's purpose behind it. And so,
Is there going to be a fundraiser for your organization too? Is there an admission to come in? Silent auction is
for
all.
Foster
Yep.
Kids United.
So you'll have some items there people can bid on.
yes.
And then we're also going to do a live auction, APOC World, over in Anaconda.
Oh, they're great people.
Yeah, they sponsored some shooting range packages. So we're going to be doing a live auction for that one, and it's going to be fun.
Yep.
That's it, and they're always there. They're good people.
Yes.
Good people. Well, I like what you got going on here. Is there any admission to get in?
There is. We do. If you go on the Civic Center right now, it's $10 pre-sale admissions, $15 at the door, and all the proceeds, of course, are going to Foster Kids United and our programs that we're have built up for these youth. I guess to give a little context of that, we have like the GED program, so any youth in our program can take the GED for free. They also get tutoring and everything that goes along with it, and they can take it as many times as they need to. And that's a big deal because a lot of states you have to pay to get it done, and if you fail, you got to pay to do it again, let alone have the tutoring. And so we've got the GED program, we've got college bound support, these programs and things like that. So the money is going towards a really good cause, to help fuel Foster Kids United and what they're doing. But basically, the rest of the event is free. The food vendors have their own little cost, but the kids' games, bouncy houses, the rest of the stuff, that we just want to have a good time with everybody. And so we just want to invite the community in and ring in the new year and, celebrate new beginnings for us because we're ending one year and starting a new one. But same thing with Foster Kids United. These youth are getting out of the foster care system, and now they're stepping into a new light. And there's about 23,000 foster youth that age out of the system every year that are in group home settings and stuff. This is not just you've been placed and now you're 18 and you made it through foster care. These are 23,000 youth that are getting out with nobody,
Every year.
no support, no anything. And so,
Or go back to the support that got them there in the first place where they really didn't have that support.
yep.
It's like, okay, welcome back. Go back to the way it used to be.
Yep. So new beginnings, new year, new light, new beginnings for them. And so, yeah, we're really excited about what it is, what's going to happen in the community. This is not about us. This is not about Foster Kids United. We've invited a lot of other organizations to come in and share what they do. And so we do have the Hope Center Ministry, which is they're both men and women, but their women's house is in Helena, but they've got a men's house in Divide, which is a Christian-based rehabilitation center.
I've had them on this show.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So the audience knows. And so we have them, and then also the Christian Motorcycle Association. They're really big around Butte and tied in with Harley and everything. They're going to come out and share what they do. And so we also have a few volunteers from Orphan Girl Theater that are going to come out and do a little music and things like that. And so it's not just about Foster Kids United. We're trying to bring the whole community involved with this. The more that we have together to lift up all the organizations, the better we all are. We can all grow together. And so the idea is not just outside of bars and casinos, what can we do for Montana that doesn't lead to DUIs or death? It's what can we do as a community and bring some light and celebrate and still have fun. I used to be really good at partying, and so now I got to do it for a good reason and a good way. And so I'm excited about it. And so the community has been too.
All right, we're going to be back. I want to talk about some of your sponsors and some of those things. And how can people get in touch with you guys? We're going to talk about that when we come back, okay?
Perfect.
KBOW Party Line, we got one more segment to go, and we're going to wrap it up quick. So if you have a question, you need to give us a call, 406-494-7500 on the Party Line. And we're back, the KBOW Party Line. Down to our final minutes here on your Wednesday, December 27th, talking about Foster Kids United and their fun, fantastic event coming up this Sunday night, New Year's Eve. Alcohol, family-friendly event, alcohol-free. I just forgot the free word there, sorry. Family-friendly event at the Butte Civic Center. Proceeds helping with Foster Kids United and the programs that they provide for those youth that have aged out of the foster care system and need that support group. And I love that concept because there's always that, okay, you're free, see ya, good luck.
Yep.
And this is like, hey, wait a minute, what do I do from here?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, you lived it, you both understand it, and that makes it even better. So, congratulations. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
A couple of teenagers are doing pretty good. No, seriously, folks, they look like they could be teenagers.
Yeah. The people that know us or know me know exactly what you're talking about. So
Yeah. They both look so young. From an old guy, that didn't take much, in case you're wondering. But anyway, hey, we're back and getting ready for this event coming up on Sunday night, New Year's Eve, at the Butte Civic Center. If the gathering of the clans that you see on St. Patrick's Day at the Civic Center, the alcohol family event, that's kind of what this could be like, but a lot more hands-on. A lot of games, there will be live music, there'll be some entertainment things happening all the time. Food vendors will be there, so bring a little extra money and buy yourself something to eat or whatever you're doing. And so this is a great event. So somebody wanted to know more or wanted to reach out to you guys. I know you have the Facebook, but some of our people are older and they don't have the computers or Facebook. How do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, we definitely have our normal reach of access, our office line, our phone number, which I can read out if it's
Sure, if you want to share it, let's do it.
Yeah, our office line phone number for Foster Kids United is 406-563-0351.
Okay, one more time slow. So,
Okay.
Okay, she just picked up her pencil. Okay, go ahead, do it again.
406.
Got it.
563-0351.
And they can always call us. We'll have that number. You can call here and we can share it with you too.
Yes, and we definitely love to interact and talk with everybody. And so even if you just have questions, we'd love to hear from you because this is for the community, about the community, for the youth, a part of our community. And so,
and this is for those with foster care or those that might want to be a mentor. Somebody that might want to say, hey, I could share, the things that might help somebody get back on their feet. I mean, how to balance your checkbook, or maybe, how to get ready for a job. If you have somebody with HR experience, hey, I could love to, and maybe you can work with multiple, let's say up to 2.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And then if anybody wanted to find out more about our programs and what we're doing, fosterkidsunited.com.
That's easy enough.
Yep, fosterkidsunited.com takes you right to it. We have connections for how to become a mentor, but also a whole bunch about our programs and what we're doing. And so it's a good one-stop shop to figure out who we are and what we're doing.
Let's go back one last time to the event. Walk us through the who, what, when, where of your event.
Yep, it's December 31st, this Sunday, No Hangover New Year's. The doors are opening at 6. The show will start at 6:30. And we're going to have a few speakers. A few of the other organizations in the community are going to come out and introduce what they do. But then we've got Strider the Jester and then also local artist Levi Bloom. And so the main portion of the event is going to run from 6:30 to 10:30. At 10:30, that's when Levi will be wrapping up his performance. We're going to switch over to more of a DJ style entity. There's not going to actually be a DJ. We're going to have music and a dance floor. And so that way, the volunteers, the people that were there to help, the rest of us have been running around in circles trying to make this happen. We can take a deep breath and celebrate with the community. And so we'll leave the bouncy house up and, we've got pinball machines and stuff like that. They'll all stay up and going. But like the younger kids' games will probably shut down and, just kind of bring it more of like dancing and, just be able to more free the last hour and a half of the event. And of course, all celebrate when we do the countdown and, just kind of go from there and, bring in the new year with a good kick with no hangover.
And again, tickets are available at the Civic Center website.
Yep.
$10 in advance, $15 at the door.
And it is cash only at the door per Civic Center, just to let anybody know that.
Yeah,
that's important.
That new entrance that they have. That's the southwest side of the annex.
Yep.
On the new parking lot.
Yeah, new parking lot. It's nice. I've driven on
it. Well, thank you both. Thanks for what you're doing. I think this was great. I'm so happy you came in because, again, I would never have known what you were doing. I mean, the idea of that next stage, that next step, to help those folks that have aged out of foster care as they move forward.
Yeah. And we very, very much appreciate you guys having us on. This was a complete surprise. We were totally taken back about it because this is our first event. This is our first rodeo, and there's going to be many. This is our first annual, this one, let alone the 2 other events that we already are planning this year. But it was a complete shock that you guys invited us on here, and we just really appreciate it. And
yes, thank you.
The support from the community. We do have some sponsors for Builders for Source, Lyzix, RF Wave. We've really had some really good community support and feedback, and we've already got some support for next year's event, like Northwest Energy. And
well, thank you. We're out of time.
Yeah, no.
Took us right to the end. All right, there you go. There's a party planned, and you're invited New Year's Eve. Come and join the fun with your family at the Civic Center. Take care, everybody.